You're afraid to tell anybody because you think that you're going to get taken away. Police coming in and, you know, banging in the door, and, you know, the radio's going, and guns, and you're just a child. It's just like a war zone.
People say no success comes without struggle, but in the world of fame, the challenges often turn into something darker.
Shania came to find out that her husband, who she loved, and her best friend, who she trusted and loved, were secretly having an affair.
Maybe even tragic. Amongst musicians and celebrities, there is always something about them that brings them to the limelight, apart from their crafts. And it proves that fame brings attention, but not for the right reasons, sometimes. Shania Twain was not an exception, but this tragedy was heartbreaking, leaving people in wild outbursts and sympathy for her. So the question remains, what really happened to Shania? Fasten your seatbelt, because we are about to dive into the details surrounding the tragedy of Shania Twain. A little girl filled with great dreams. Shania, whose actual name is Eileen Edwards, was born on the 28th of August, 1965, and grew up as the second eldest in a family of 5 kids in Timmins, Ontario, in the lively country of Canada. Life wasn't exactly a walk in the park for her, as her family faced poverty, but interestingly, they made the best of it. Her mother was named Sharon, and her Ojibwa stepfather was named Jerry Twain, who worked in forestry, raised her, and since Jerry adopted them, took on the Twain surname. People around them recognized their family and nicknamed them as status Indian members of the Tagami First Nation. The family spent their summers and weekends soaking themselves in nature at the Matagami Reserve, and that was where Eileen learnt the ropes of a rugged lifestyle, like hunting, chopping wood, and tracking rabbits, which became something she usually does to make herself happy. From a young age, music became very constant in her life, thanks to her parents, who made her listen to musical geniuses and legends like Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Tammy Wynette. Their sweet support deepened her passion for singing and performing even from an early age. When the family moved to Sudbury in 1973, Eileen, who was 8 years old at that time, jumped headfirst into music, singing in her school choir, and excellently performing at community centers, bars, and even senior homes. At the age of 10, she was already writing and composing her own songs and engaging in talent contests, which started making waves on local radio. Her mother became her biggest cheerleader, and she started making special appearances on Canadian TV shows like Opry North, Easy Country, and The Mercy Brothers Show. It all combined in a memorable moment in 1978, when the 13-year-old Eileen graced the incredible stage of CBC TV's The Tommy Hunter Show. And as huge as this deal was, it was just the beginning of her incredible journey. In 1980, her family made another important decision to return to Timmins, where her parents launched a reforestation company. However, this movement only meant fewer opportunities for her to perform. During high school, she juggled a few different gigs, like playing the trumpet in the school band, working part-time at McDonald's, and singing in a top 40 rock band called Longshot. She spent some of her summers working as a tree planting supervisor for her father's reforestation venture, and through this, she honed her leadership skills in the great outdoors. In a not-so-common moment of vulnerability, Shania spoke with a media person about her challenge while growing up. She opened up about the struggles of growing up in an abusive household and the kind of hunger she and her family felt. She said, "I think I've stayed pretty detached from my life until now, almost like I was watching a different person go through it all. But I've reconnected with myself and realized, no, this is who I really am. I have no embarrassment about my past, where I come from, or what I've been through. I'm not ashamed of it." Apart from her suffering as a child, she also opened up about her mother and the physical abuse she suffered from her stepdad. She mentioned the fact that it was so overwhelming for her to watch as a child, and it may have affected some decisions she made in life. It was overwhelming for any child to never know what to expect from one day to the next. It could happen at any moment, and you're always left wondering if they're going to survive it. She recalled the terror of witnessing her stepfather's violent outbursts, including one terrifying incident where he hit her mother Sharon's head into the toilet. In her words, "I honestly thought he'd unalived her. I really believed she was drowned or dead, or that he had just smashed her head in and she was never going to wake up. She looked lifeless, unconscious, limp, hanging from his hands by her hair. She went through the horror and humiliation of thinking her mother had left her in this world, and this memory still lived with her until adulthood." As if this horror was not enough, she explained that the abuse didn't stop with her mother. It extended to her as well, and she took part in the abuse, which was even worse than her mother's. To this day, she struggles with the confusion of why her father, who instilled in her the values of kindness and hard work, was also so verbally abusive. She also remembers feeling jealous of her classmates' lunches when she was younger. But even when she was famished, the thought of asking for help never crossed her mind. "I would never have humiliated myself enough to reach out and say, 'You know, I'm hungry. Can I have that apple you're not going to eat?' I didn't dare to do that," she said. Her experiences only show the deep-rooted struggles she faced while growing up, which shaped her resilience, strength, and commitment to overcome adversity. But these challenges only grew worse when her parents were tragically involved in a car accident that claimed their lives in 1987, leaving her to take on the responsibility of raising her 3 younger siblings. Taking on such an important responsibility at a young age was no small feat, and she took on the heavy weight of that responsibility as she tried to navigate her own grief while still caring for her siblings. From a small town in Canada to the whole world, she consistently grinded in spite of the difficulties she faced. Before we look at the tragedy she had at 60, let us look into her impressive career quickly. Her incredible career. The loss of her parents was supposed to weigh her down, but Shania still continued to chase her undeniable passion for music, singing, and performing in clubs, and working on her skills. In 1991, she got the full attention of a producer named Norro Wilson, who brought her to Nashville, Tennessee, to record her first album. It was at this time that she adopted the name Shania, which means "I'm on my way," in honor of her stepfather's Ojibwa heritage. Her first album, named Shania Twain, sold around 100,000 copies, but it was just enough to attract the interest of another renowned producer named Robert John Mutt Lang. This producer was known for his work with legends like Def Leppard, Bryan Adams, and Michael Bolton, and it didn't take time for the duo to start collaborating both musically and romantically, as they quickly fell in love and got married in 1993. 2 years after their marriage, she released her second album, titled The Woman in Me, which became a commercial and critical success, selling over 18 million copies and winning a Grammy Award for Country Album of the Year. Her third album, named Come On Over, which she released in 1997, got chart-topping hits on both the country and pop charts, including tracks like You're Still the One and Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Also, the following year, she started her first tour of North America. By 1999, Come On Over had sold more than 10 million copies, making her the best-selling female country artist and the first female recording artist in any kind of genre to have 2 consecutive albums get to that milestone. In 2002, she released the highly anticipated Up, a double album that featured both country and pop versions of her songs. The collection of her greatest hits, which included a duet with a country artist named Billy Currington, was released in 2004, and all of these further solidified her name and status as a music icon. In the following years, she decided to step back from the public eye and the stage, although her 2010 divorce from her ex-husband became a topic that piqued the mind of the media. She also faced personal challenges, battling a disease after her diagnosis in 2003. Her break eventually came to an end in 2011 when she starred in the reality television series titled Why Not? With Shania Twain and published her long-awaited autobiography titled From This Moment On. That same year, she got inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That was more than an encouragement to continue her music career. And she continued as she released the single titled Today Is Your Day in 2011 and launched a residency show titled Shania Still the One at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, running from 2012 to 2014. In 2017, after another short break, she made a triumphant return with Now, which was her first studio album in 15 years, and as expected, it topped the charts. She launched another Las Vegas residency, Let's Go, in 2019, even though they had to pause the show in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and resumed it in 2021. In 2022, the story of her life and career was highlighted in the Netflix documentary Not Just a Girl, and the following year, she released the album Queen of Me, featuring hot collaborations with artists like Justin Bieber and Pitbull. In May 2024, she started yet another Las Vegas residency as she continued to captivate and inspire audiences with her incredible talent and skillful performances. Her acceptance in the mainstream pop landscape was significantly strengthened by her appearance at the inaugural VH Find Divas concert in 1998, where she shared the stage with amazing icons like Mariah Carey, Celine Dion, Gloria Estefan, Carole King, and Aretha Franklin. This visibility, along with her feature on VH1's Behind the Music in 1999, which focused on the tragic aspects of her early life, her physical attractiveness, and Nashville's first resistance to her provocative music videos, helped to elevate her profile. Following Divas, she contributed background vocals to a few of Celine Dion's songs titled If Walls Could Talk and Goodbyes, The Saddest Word, further showcasing her versatility and talent. Also, to show that she could not just do music alone, in 2004, she made a cameo as herself in the feature film I Heart Huckabees. Also, she returned to the public eye on the 12th of November, 2008, making a great surprise appearance as a presenter at the 42nd CMA Awards and marking her first television appearance since her separation from Robert. In 2009, she served as a guest judge on American Idol during episodes aired on the 30th and 31st of August. She also returned the next year to the same show as a guest mentor, professionally guiding the top 6 contestants in performing her songs. Although she was considered for a judging role on the show after its 9th season, the position eventually went to Jennifer Lopez. Her appearances and projects during this time only elevated her status as one of the most multifaceted entertainers in history. Shania continued to do the good work, making her mark in the entertainment world with a variety of guest appearances and roles. In September 2017, she guest-starred as herself in one episode of the Comedy Central series Broad City, titled Twaining Day. Later that year, she appeared as a guest judge during the movie night episode of the 25th season of Dancing with the Stars, where she performed her song titled Soldier. In 2018, she also served as a guest judge on episode 5 of the 10th season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Shania continued to show her competitive spirit in January 2018 on TBS's Drop the Mic, where she faced off against a singer named Meghan Trainor. Musicians and singers also appreciated her works in a tribute episode of Lip Sync Battle on the 21st of June, 2018, featuring incredible artists like Derek Hu and Nicole Scherzinger. In November 2018, she took on the role of executive producer and co-presenter for the reality talent show Real Country, along with Jake Owen and Travis Tritt. In 2019, Shania appeared in the film titled Trading Paint alongside John Travolta, and in 2022, she portrayed the mother of a popular singer called Jeremy Camp in the biographical film I Still Believe. Her fame continued into 2023, when she joined the panel for the second series of ITV's Starstruck, a reimagined version of Stars in Their Eyes, replacing Sheridan Smith. She also made an appearance in Season 4, Episode 7 of The Kardashians. In 2024, Netflix also featured her in the Netflix series titled A Man in Full, a 6-episode adaptation of the novel. which premiered on the 2nd of May. She also guest-starred in the ABC medical drama Dr. Odyssey on the 3rd of October 2024 and appeared in the concert film Andrea Bocelli, 30, The Celebration Concert, which was released in theaters on the 8th of November 2024. She also joined the Netflix special titled A Nonsense Christmas with Sabrina Carpenter on the 6th of December 2024, where she played Mrs. Claus and performed Santa Baby. Looking ahead to 2025, she became a judge on the 5th season of Canada's Got Talent, which further cemented her status as a beloved and versatile figure in the entertainment industry. Alana Nash of AARP highlighted how Twain crafted The Woman in Me around hooky melodies and clever wordplay from her perspective. In the 90s, record executives expressed concern that her lyrics were too male-threatening, as both The Woman in Me and Come On Over have a lot of feminist and anti-infidelity themes. While she is often associated with songs about female empowerment, Shania's catalog also includes love songs. She believes that female artists are often misunderstood when they express feminist views or assert their independence. She explains, that doesn't mean that we don't love the men in our lives and that we don't need the men in our lives. When writing songs, she isolates herself to reduce distractions, believing that this approach improves her productivity. She also states that she often transforms melancholic experiences into uplifting songs. Shania is basically associated with the country pop genre, with an all-music critic named Stephen Thomas Erlewine taking note of her skillful fusion of mainstream AOR rock production with country pop elements. Her album Up is often regarded as her most straightforward pop project to date. She draws her inspiration from a couple of extraordinary female country artists like Karen Carpenter, Dolly Parton, Mickey Guyton, Taylor Swift, The Chicks, Wynonna Judd, and Kelsea Ballerini. She has also expressed admiration for legendary country singers like Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, Reba McEntire, and Leanne Rimes, confirming her respect for the rich history of the genre and its influential artists. It is so amazing to see this small girl evolve into one of the most decorated and skillful vocalists, but who would have known she was dealing with a lot as she kept signing deals and singing until she experienced something that broke the camel's back? Let's dive into what really happened that almost broke Shania. Abuse, betrayal, and the loss of her voice. Shania was at the peak of her career when she faced a disappointing loss of her voice, which is a situation far beyond just a few canceled concerts or temporary vocal strain. This was a significant break from the music world. She did not release a record for 15 years. In those 15 years, she thought she would not sing again. Just 6 weeks after undergoing laryngoplasty to construct her vocal box, she reminds herself of her struggle as she still feels a 2-inch horizontal scar across her neck. She faced a lot of challenges during that period, but she was thankful. Her vocal cord paralysis resulted from Lyme disease, which she contracted from a tick bite. She emphasizes the severity of Lyme disease, saying that the disease could go into someone's brain. Shania refers to that period in her life as the madness, a very terrible time marked not only by her struggles with vocal loss and Lyme disease, but also by another sad personal issue. After she and her husband welcomed their son Aja, pronounced as Asia, in 2001, she sought some family time and a long break from the spotlight. However, she admits, "I would have never stayed away for 15 years." The shame she felt due to her inability to sing hindered her from sharing her struggles, and for a very long time, she remained uncertain about the reasons behind her vocal challenges. In 2008, she then found the courage to announce her separation from Robert, stating the end of not only their marriage, but also one of the most interesting and successful partnerships in music history that is worth studying. At that point, she was estimated to be worth around $350 million. The details which surrounded their separation revealed that her ex-husband was having an affair with Marie-Anne Thibault, Shania's close friend and their personal assistant. who lived close in the Swiss town of Corso. It was regarded as one of the most painful betrayals known on the internet. However, the situation took another turn when she revealed that she had started another relationship with Thibault's husband, Frédéric. This revelation shifted the narrative around her, making her personal life an important story rather than her music. It also became a scandal for her career, and as a result, she had no other choice but to retreat from the public eye, coupled with her inability to sing and facing doubts about the future of her career. For a while, it seemed that her return to music might be impossible. After her breakup, she experienced a significant low point. Known for her private nature, she opened up in her 2011 memoir, where she candidly admitted to moments when she felt like giving up on life generally. The book serves as a confessional, warning, and self-help manual for those facing similar struggles. That's right, she vehemently states, with her enthusiasm palpable. Beware! Or, if it has happened to you, you're not alone. She also explains the importance of sharing personal experiences, so people can get to the point where they can even get up there and say, "This is what happened to me, and this is where it's brought me in my life," and they start feeling lighter and better. She went through a whole lot at this period, but the most amazing part of this story was the fact that nothing affected her career. So, let's explore the legacy she has built and is still building for the future. Her legacy, regardless of the tragedy. It is very common for millennial singers to be abandoned, especially because they are no longer relatable, and there are so many cool musicians who threaten to replace them and their craft. However, Shania's experience was different, as she got an unexpected embrace by the current generation as a cultural icon who has come out originally, without any special eureka moment. With the release of her 6th album, titled Queen of Me, her timeless music has a way of resonating with younger audiences and influencing a new generation of artists. A lot of musicians have been inspired by Shania, one of which is the US indie pop group named Muna, who acknowledged the fact that her country pop style directly influenced their song titled Kind of Girl, a unique track from their 2022 album. They tell BBC Culture, "It's easy to take for granted the idea of country pop as a widely beloved style of music. This particular genre wouldn't likely exist in the way it does now without the deeply profound influence of Shania Twain and her many, many hits. She is the template." This same sentiment is echoed by the legendary Taylor Swift, who praised Shania in a TikTok for paving the way for her own transition from country to pop. In addition, Harry Styles celebrated Twain's influence, inviting her to duet with him at Coachella in 2022. He said in an interview in 2017, "I think both in music and fashion, my main influence was probably Shania Twain. I think she's amazing." Another Japanese-British singer-songwriter named Rina Sawayama also recognizes Shania's impact, calling her the queen of country pop. Rina even goes as far as paying homage to Twain in her 2022 single titled This Hell, starting the track with the iconic rallying cry, "From man, I feel like a woman." This collective admiration speaks to the enduring legacy of her role in shaping contemporary music across all genres. Shania's revival is incredibly remarkable given that Queen of Me is only her 2nd studio album since 2002. Its other infectious 2nd single, Giddy Up, includes a playful nod to her iconic 90s era, with the line, "I got a fast car with the 90s on." That phase was nothing short of amazing, and she remains the only female artist in history to achieve 3 consecutive albums certified diamond in the US, each selling over 10 million copies. Her music videos from her era have been timeless and amazing. One might picture her hitchhiking across the desert in her signature leopard skin suit from the That Don't Impress Me Much video, now displayed in the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Nashville. Alternatively, she could be envisioned in the empowering imagery of Man, I Feel Like a Woman, where she commands an all-male backing band dressed in fishnet stockings, black corsets, and top hats, paying homage to Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love. These visuals and the songs not only defined her brand, but also strengthened her place as a pioneer of female empowerment in music. Both Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and That Don't Impress Me Much are great examples of what Muna describes as a highlight of Shania's songwriting. She also has the ability to convey universally relatable sentiments in a definitive and fresh way. She also has a clever use of language, which is portrayed in a song of hers titled Don't Be Stupid, You Know I Love You, where she playfully scolds a jealous partner. You even get suspicious when I paint my nails. It's definitely distracting the way you dramatize every little small detail. In this light, she can be seen as the Fleetwood Mac of the 1990s and early 2000s, even though her songwriting generally carries a lighter tone. Her combination of humor, relatability, and catchy melodies has left an undeniable mark on the music industry, influencing a lot of artists, while her songs still remain timelessly appealing. Sometimes, Shania ventured into very dark and more cathartic territories, which was really evident in her 2017 comeback album, which features several somber tracks that go into the emotional aftermath of her marriage breakdown with her ex-husband. In a track titled Poor Me, she candidly dwells more on her pain. Poor me this, poor me that, why do I keep looking back? Still can't believe he'd leave me to love her. The her likely refers to her former best friend and secretary, Marie-Anne Thiebaud, with whom he had an affair. Despite these moments, she makes it a point of duty to prioritize her fan base. When she discussed her track, Queen of Me, she said, "It's very chirpy, and that's intentional. It's more playful than I've ever been. I can write really sad songs, but do my fans want to hear really sad songs from me?" This awareness of her audience is a hallmark of her approach to professional music. Muna also talks about this connection, stating that it's clear Shania had a female audience in mind during her Imperial Artists phase, and she was not scared to tell stories that resonated with them. For example, when she released Come On Over in 1997, she was already popular and wealthy, but she retained the ability to infuse her songs with the empathy and relatability of her working-class upbringing. Another example of vulnerability and empathy in her songs is Honey, I'm Home, where she sings, "With all this stress, I must confess, this could be worse than PMS," which captures the everyday struggles of balancing life and work with a light-hearted touch. This combination of authenticity and emotions has made fans love her more and made her a beloved artist across generations. Shania Twain's music continues to captivate new audiences due to its unique and timeless qualities. For her longtime fans, however, her inspiring journey of overcoming adversity is just as compelling. Unfortunately, however, she often found her contributions to music downplayed in the media. As she reflected on this, she stated, "I ended up going, think whatever you want, because the alternative was exhausting. Trying to certify myself when all I wanted to do was write more songs." As of 2025, Shania boasts a remarkable net worth of $400 million. This financial achievement is largely attributed to her status as the owner of the best-selling country album of all time, Come On Over. Her wealth grew from a lot of factors, which included her position as one of the 15 richest singers in the world. The Grammy-winning artist has sold over 100 million albums globally, with Come On Over alone getting more than 40 million copies sold. This album is not only the biggest-selling country album, but also the top-selling album by any female artist across all genres in the world. Her extraordinary sales figures, coupled with her enduring fame and influence in music, prove that she is one of the most important figures in the industry, both financially and musically. Her success as an artist has made her cultivate a diverse fan base that goes beyond country music, particularly attracting pop listeners. While her songs consistently performed well on country charts, they also resonated with millions of people all over the world, contributing to her to outsell most other country artists. Her success has been ongoing for decades, and she still continues to be successful till today. She has launched 3 successful Las Vegas residencies alongside regular tours, which have played a crucial role in revitalizing her career and keeping her in the public eye for as long as she wants. What do you think about the heartbreaking tragedy of Shania Twain? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. To enjoy more exciting videos, click play on the video on your screen. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when a new video drops.